She has seen Fairyhouse 7 times, winning every time. This is her 8th and final time at Fairyhouse. We wish her well now and for the season, because they are racing in the Bar 1 Hatton's Grace, and it's Darver Star, who's got closer to the mare than any, who takes them through the early part, with Ashdale Bob on the inside. They're being chased by Saldi. Honeysuckle's just outside, and then down the inners to Teahupoo. Classical Dream settles nicely in behind the leading 5, and they're being chased by Sire de Burley. And last of all is Echoes and Rain. So they go towards their first flight with Darver Star and Ashdale Bob almost for company. Honeysuckle close on the outside of Saldi as they clear flight number 1. Teahupoo is next, then Classical Dream, and this one's being followed by Sire de Burley, and last of all is Echoes and Rain. So now they race on the turn to bring them in towards the straight first time, and Ashdale Bob is beginning to stretch on. We saw Ashdale Bob third in the Lismullen at Navan recently. Darver Star, who's won his last 3, is sitting in second. Then Saldi, who's third in the Morgiana, racing in third spot. Then Honeysuckle, who's close in 4. Teahupoo, whose last 2 runs have been chasing home Honeysuckle at a distance. Behind this one is Classical Dream, who won the Stayers at Punchestown. Just in behind this goes the dual per temps winning Sire de Burley, and Echoes and Rain, who broke Patrick's losing streak in the big amateur race at Galway, is last to the group. So it's Ashdale Bob who's over in front from Darver Star. On the inside is Saldi. Just behind them is Honeysuckle on the outside of Teahupoo. Then Classical Dream. Just behind these is Sire de Burley, and last of all is Echoes and Rain. So over the next, Ashdale Bob has an advantage as Classical Dream landed flat over that one, but Ashdale Bob leads them by the post first time, 4 to 5 lengths clear from Darver Star on the outside of Saldi. Honeysuckle gets cheered by the stands on the first time around. What will it be like next time as she's in front? Teahupoo is sitting just in behind, then Classical Dream, then Sire de Burley, and last of all is Echoes and Rain. So up the hill they go now, making their way on towards flights 4 and 5 in the Bar 1 Hatton's Grace, and Ashdale Bob is going to lead them up. Darver Star towards the outside of Saldi, then Honeysuckle. Just behind her on the inside is Teahupoo. Classical Dream is just in behind, but Ashdale Bob and Sean O'Keefe from Darver Star and Keith Donoghue. Saldi is next, the mount of Danny Mullins, then Rachel and Honeysuckle towards the outside. Then just behind these is Paul Townend on Classical Dream. They're being chased by Sire de Burley and Davy Russell. Towards the inside next to Teahupoo and Jack Kennedy, and last of all is Echoes and Rain and Patrick Mullins as they go out over the second of the 2 climbing flights, and it's still Ashdale Bob with on the outside Darver Star, Saldi, Honeysuckle, Classical Dream. Teahupoo is on the inside, further back to Sire de Burley, and last of all remains Echoes and Rain, who's just been fighting for her head throughout as they race at the turn of the top of the track now, and it's still Ashdale Bob. Reduced advantage as Darver Star is getting almost up on terms. Saldi is third, Honeysuckle is 4. Classical Dream is just in the slipstream of Honeysuckle. Teahupoo is on the rail, and this one's being chased by Sire de Burley, and Echoes and Rain still fighting hard at the back of the field. So they race now towards the flight along this section of the track, right along the back straight, and it is Ashdale Bob from Darver Star and Saldi. Sitting in 4th is Honeysuckle. Then towards the inside is Teahupoo as they clear the flight right across from the grandstand. First semblance of mistake there. Jane Mangan, what is Rachel Blackmore thinking at this point in time?
She's where she wants to be, Richard. The emphasis will be on stamina over speed. Any fitness frailties will be exposed here, but watch the red colours of Paul Townend. He has the target very much on Honeysuckle's back. He's going to follow her into the straight, and if he's good enough to get by, we'll see. But the pace is solid. This will be a test of stamina.
7 furlongs, 4 flights ahead, and it is Ashdale Bob with Darver Star going up on the outside, then Saldi who's racing in 3rd, Honeysuckle 4, just behind them is Classical Dream with Teahupoo. Sire de Burley is next, and last of all still is Echoes and Rain. They're racing along the side of the track now, heading on towards the next, which will be 3 from home, and on the inside Ashdale Bob with Darver Star right up on the outside. Honeysuckle's going up on the outside of Saldi, who's just being nudged along. Classical Dream is close behind Teahupoo. Sire de Burley is under pressure, and Echoes and Rain still last. Now they race on the approach towards the 3rd last flight. Darver Star the outside, Ashdale Bob the inner, Honeysuckle just behind them as they land over that one, then Classical Dream, and they're being chased just in behind by Saldi. Echoes and Rain is on the move as they begin to race on their way towards home. Ashdale Bob and Darver Star the leading pair, the gap is wide between them. Honeysuckle is going to try and move through that gap now, and Classical Dream travels well behind her as they begin to turn towards home, and out front it's Ashdale Bob, and here comes Honeysuckle challenging in the centre. It's a familiar Fairyhouse sight now. It's Ashdale Bob with Honeysuckle Honeysuckle. Classical Dream is still right in the slipstream. Teahupoo's trying to go with them. Darver Star has dropped back. They race on now to go toward the second last in the Hatton's Grace. And Ashdale Bob is challenged by Honeysuckle with Classical Dream just behind. At the second last, big jump ears pricked. Honeysuckle's gone to the front. We lost at the back, Eccles and Rain. And it's Honeysuckle to the final flight from on the near side. Classical Dream who's trying to challenge. Now Teahupoo's coming through. On the near is headed. And it's Classical Dream and Teahupoo. Honeysuckle's having to come back on the far side. And it's Classical Dream and Teahupoo are going to take the Hatton's Grace. It's Teahupoo on the near side. Teahupoo has caused the upset from in second. Classical Dream. All good things have to come to an end, and today it did for Honeysuckle back in third. In fourth, Ashdale Bob, Sire de Burleigh, and then came Saldier, then came Darver Star. Echoes and Rain was the folder, but Teahupoo it was on the near side.